Everyone, welcome to the Happy Hustle Show, episode 105. Today, I am going to be talking about your 5-year plan for your side hustle and a bit of make sure that you're wishing for the right thing and be careful what you wish for is kind of the lesson that I'm going to be covering in this show. So I'll just give people a minute to find me. If you are watching this on replay and you want to have notifications just before I go live, because I never know exactly when I'm going to be live for the Happy Hustle Show, the link to receive notifications on Telegram is above or below, depending on what device you're watching this video. You just click on that link. There's a wee app that you can install on your iPhone or Android called Telegram. All it does is give you a push notification whenever I go live, nothing else. And you can unsubscribe at any time. So there's no risk, but quite often people say to me, oh, I wish I'd known that you were going to come live, because when I am live, you're totally welcome to chat to me and interact and ask me questions. But I know lots of you watch these shows on catch up as well. So if you are watching live, say hi. I can see there's 5 of you watching live. So let me just check the comments are working. So please say hi if you are watching live. So I have just come out of my incredibly busy day job period. So I do some work with the Scottish Government to do business coaching for SMEs. Hi, Nikki. And if anybody's ever worked in public sector or with public sector, you'll know that the way the budgets work is it tends to be really tight at the beginning of the year. And then at the end of the year, they're trying to use all of their budget up. So we were trying to help, we had loads of budget to help as many companies as we possibly could for the last couple of months of the financial year there, but it all ended on Thursday. So now we're back to being really careful about the budget again. So this week I'm only working with one company, whereas last week I think I had 3 companies. So it's been brilliant, and it's so it's such a lovely compliment to this. Hi, Anne. It's such a lovely compliment to Happy Side Hustle, because I'm able to bring lots of lessons from my own side hustles that I learned from you all, and in terms of what I learned from my coaches to my day job. Hi, Tracy. But I also learn so much from the companies that I work with and what they do and what their challenges are and how they handle it. I can bring back to this. So I feel really lucky that my day job and my side hustle, this particular side hustle, are so complementary. They just really fit together beautifully. So I want to tell you the story about the client that I was working with this morning. Hi, Cassie. Now, this client made me think of, and I know that you're not live, but I'm really hoping that you might watch and catch up. It made me particularly think of Claire Gath and Laura Fuller. Yeah, there will be others as well, but this client was an artist, and she was just brilliant, such a lovely, lovely woman. And basically she's probably 4 years into her journey. About 4 years ago, she decided that she was going to take her art. So she does art and photography, actually. She's incredibly talented, but just like a lot of you guys are, all of you guys are in your own way. But in terms of art, I know a lot of you are very creative. I can't paint to save my life, but I know lots of you are. So she took the art that she creates and she decided that she was going to sell it, not just on canvases, which is what that's your kind of standard thing, isn't it? As an artist, you think, well, I'll sell this on canvases, but she decided she was going to start selling it on mugs, and that's where she started. So she outsourced the mugs in the same way as I do. So it's dead easy to create your own mug and outsource it and do that on print on demand. So she started doing that with her own designs, which are slightly more complex than the ones I create on Canva. So she started doing that and then got a little bit of traction for people wanting to buy her mugs. So then decided, okay, well, what else can I make? So she started doing cushions. Same thing, just outsourced them, brought them in, and found that there was a big, hi Nia, there was a big demand for the cushions. And then if you get into one of these companies that do print on demand, there's lots of them, and there's lots and lots of different products. So she started off small, like getting all these products print on demand, and find that that was really complementing. Oh, hi, Shona. Hi, lovely to see you. Found that that was really complementing the art that she was creating. So people were not only buying the art and the kind of framed and the canvas and the prints of her art, but they were also looking for this on mugs and cushions. And actually, what she was showing me today is she's created this collection of jewelry that is printed with her art. It's absolutely gorgeous. So she started off by doing print on demand, which was dead interesting. Oh, hi Hazel, I'm just talking about artists, which you are clearly one. Hi Hilary. Oh, brilliant. Thank you everybody for coming along. Great to see you all. So she started doing all of this print on demand, and then she said she realized that as she started to grow, that there was a massive demand for her stuff to be sold in gift shops, so on a wholesale basis. So she started going to the big fairs, the big sort of gift fairs. So there was one in Glasgow last weekend that she was telling me about, and there's a really like famous one in Birmingham, etc. So she started going there and then signed up some wholesale customers. And then she said she realized that print on demand is a brilliant way to start. And it really is a like risk-free way of doing it, because you don't need to invest in any stock. You don't even need to send the stuff out yourself. You can just get it sent out directly from somebody else. But there is a cost for that. So because of that, your margins are probably going to be a bit lower. It depends what you're doing. So that mug that I showed you, I know some of you have just joined. So that is a print on demand mug, right? So I create that, I order them in ones kind of as I need them. So I am going to have a Happy Side Hustle shop at some point, but I don't like have them really there to sell and make money, but I have them for gifts, and I have them for promotional purposes. And it's the same, kind of the same as for those of you that did the session on creating your own book on Amazon. So you could have a business that's just this, and you could put enough of a markup on it to be making some money. Like you could charge whatever you want for it, actually. But what she was saying to me, what she learned, which I thought was useful to pass on, was there came a point where the wholesalers were basically looking for this at the cost she was having to pay for it. So that isn't going to work long term as a business model, though it's a great way to start. So what she did was she decided to bring the mugs, first of all, back in house. So she started doing it in her kitchen. So she got one of the kind of, what does it call it? Those machines that you can do vinyl mugs. It's gone out of my head. Anyway, you guys all know. So she got one of those machines and she started to create her own vinylated. That's not the right word. Forget the word. Anyway, started to create her own mugs, which is not as easy as print on demand, but still relatively easy to do. But she said when she did that, she was able to crack up. That's it, Hilary. She was able to then charge a lot less because she was creating them herself. Now, obviously, there was time involved here, but she was able to still make a profit and sell wholesale. So that's what she did. And she did it with her mugs. And then she tried to work out how to do it with other things. So she bought more machines and things that could create these products in-house. And she said what she quickly realized was that there was a lot more profit to be made when you were buying in bulk. So, if you're buying mugs like that in bulk, you're going to get them just blank mugs. You're going to get them far cheaper than if you're just buying them in ones, like anything. So she brought everything in. She started to then so she said she was still outsourcing some of the stuff to external printers, but she started to make herself the things that she wanted to sell wholesale, which was great. And this all was happening just before lockdown. So she got so busy making these things that it actually made sense for her to take on a member of staff. So about 6 months before lockdown, she took on a member of staff, and the two of them were basically sitting in her kitchen making these things. And then she said the demand just started to, so they would go to another one of the kind of gift fairs, the supplier fairs, and they would get more wholesale orders. And she said it just came to the point where she couldn't physically make them anymore. So she employed another member of staff. So now she's got 2 members of staff in her kitchen. So then they couldn't all be in her kitchen. So she got herself an office. And she said it wasn't like not an industrial unit or anything like that. It was like an office, but it was a space where the three of them could be, and they could get all the machinery and kind of, and then look at the orders that were coming in. There's a little bit of storage there, and they would dispatch them all. And then that started to snowball, and her suppliers were looking for additional products. What she said really interestingly for you artists is that her suppliers are generally looking for just 3 new designs a year. That's it. So she's incredibly creative, like all you artists. So she said she could come up with like 100 new designs, but that isn't what they're looking for. They're looking for three new great designs every year that they can add to their range. So that's what she does. They've expanded the number of things that they can do, like bringing the machinery in that they can do in-house. So now they do a whole load of things. They've got some pretty heavy duty machinery. They got some government grants to fund that as well. So she's moved from the first office to a bigger office. And then when lockdown happened and the pandemic and people started discovering buying online for everybody, then all the business for wholesalers went up. All her direct through her website business went up. And then she couldn't cope with the demand with her and the 2 people. So over lockdown, when other businesses were suffering, and she absolutely appreciates that, but she said she couldn't cope. So she employed 3 additional people. So now she's got 5 people in her team in the second office that they moved into. But that's not big enough now because there's 5 of them and there's all this machinery. So now they're looking for an industrial unit where they can print all of this stuff and keep up with the demand. And she's employing a customer or a client relationship manager to increase the number of wholesale orders. So for them to go to the trade shows and to bring in additional wholesale clients, as well as she's had a complete refresh on her website where she sells directly as well. And today we were talking about her having to bring in an operations manager because she's actually moved. So the workshop is in central Scotland, but she's actually moved to one of the Scottish Islands because that's what she's always wanted to do, in the same way that I know our Sarah in here is planning to move to Harris at some point in the future. This was also on this artist's kind of dream board. So she's done it. And she's trying to then remotely manage the stuff that's going on in central Scotland. So that's the reason that I was talking to her today. There's a whole load of like challenges with that, but a whole load of incredible opportunities. And she's so like excited and grateful. But we were then talking about, okay, well, 5 years ago, did you see it being this side? And she just like, it's just sort of happened. So she said the demand was there. So she just kind of went with it. And then we were talking about, well, where do you want to be in another 5 years? Because we need to really think now about the structure and how we can make sure that that growth is kind of as easy as possible. And it just got me thinking about everybody in here, because a lot of you in here are just a couple of years behind her. So she started off in exactly the same way that you did, like with something that brought her joy. And she started off just like selling a few of them on Facebook. And then there's a bigger demand, a bigger demand, a bigger demand. And it's just grown into something that honestly could become massive. Like she could probably double, triple, quadruple the size of her business and have a full factory of people creating her things, which is just, it's not just amazing as an artist to think that you're paying salaries for people to create your art because so many people in the world want to buy it. Like, it's just amazing. Like, it's just so amazing. Anyway, the reason I wanted to speak to you about it is, and the conversation that we were having today was, is that what she actually wants? Because it comes back to, why did you set it up in the first place? So that's really exciting, isn't it? That you could potentially be employing 10 people, 15 people. You could have a big factory of people that are all producing your stuff for you. And it could be in every shop in the UK, and you could be really famous. Is that what you want? It was just, there was such a light bulb moment today as we were talking through it, where she kind of went, I don't know. And it's not that she doesn't want that, but it's nearly like her side hustle. What started as a side hustle, it's now a full-time business that employs her and her husband, and as I say, 5 other people. But it started to snowball and it started to grow into its own entity, which is exciting. I mean, and it's almost what you hope for your side hustle. But I got a real sense today that So if you think about it, if what brings you joy at the moment is creating whatever that thing is, so whether it's creating like a membership or creating digital products to sell, or whether it's crocheting or whatever it is that you do, it is quite important now, I think, to think about, where do you want that to go? Like, what is the dream here? Because it's the dream to earn millions. Because when you then move, when you are in a situation where you used to spend all your time creating, but now she's in this situation where she's got a team of 5 staff with no manager. So now you're managing 5 staff. What do you think most of her time is spent on? It's spent on the challenges, it's spent on the management of the staff, it's spent on the CRM, it's spent on kind of troubleshooting the computer systems, it's spent on running the new machines, teaching people how to use it, creating an induction program. So all of a sudden, she's now spending like she said she felt like she's doing 10% of things. She's doing everything 10% of how well she could do them, if that makes sense, because she's got so many things to do. And she's just so incredibly lovely. And I just came away and I thought, it is really important to decide if that's what you want, and not to just let things. And I know it sounds like a lovely problem to have, that your side hustle gets so big, like you have to employ loads of people. But is that what you want? Is that what you want? And it's great if it is, but it's also okay if it's not. So if you haven't for a while, I want you to go back to your vision, the thing that you started with. Like, why am I doing this? What I want now, I revisit my vision. I go, what I want to do. I want to fund my holidays. That's what I want to do. That is the whole purpose of Happy Side Hustle. I want to fund my holidays. And I'm so incredibly grateful that that is what it does. Do I want it to do more than that? And this is what I've been thinking all afternoon. Do I want it to do more than that? I don't know. I don't know. And it's not, and I'm not suggesting that you should know right away either. I want to help more people. I'm on a mission to help more people, definitely. Do I want to be at a point where I'm employing people? I don't know. I don't know. Having delivered management development programs for years, I don't know if people management is like that appealing to me. That sounds terrible, because it is quite. It's like when I did. I'm a occupational psychologist, and I went down the kind of HR training route very quickly after graduating. But I always stayed on the L&D kind of training side of things, because I very quickly realized that working within HR, people don't tend to come to you and tell you how great everything is and just want to share like celebrations with you. It's generally dealing with issues, and there's of course like a real benefit in doing that, and it's great that there's someone there to do it. But I'm all about the joy, and I find the joy in the training side of things, because that's where people go, that changed my life. Like that thing that you taught me, I'm still using that 10 years later. Like, I just love it when people let me know what impact, and we're all having an impact on people all the time. But the joy of being in training is people are given an evaluation form and told to write what they think of you and what they got from it. So you force people to tell you. So again, like I talk about this regularly, but people are generally walking about thinking lovely things about each other, but not necessarily saying them out loud, because it's awkward and we're British and it's a bit uncomfortable. Because what if that other person gets embarrassed? And they probably will, because none of us can accept a compliment either. You've heard me talking about that before. But as a trainer, it's really celebration manager, Nikki. That's yeah. I mean, that's why I've got Gillian in the Hive as the head of happiness, because it's just about that. It's about what you focus on, isn't it? And it's not a false toxic positivity. It's not that at all. It's like what you focus on. So what you choose to see, what you choose to focus on is what you experience in life. I was just having a bit of a chat with the teenagers about this, and about, like, really, you've got to look for the good in every day. You've got to look for the good in everything. And, sometimes I think, and I was like this as a teenager, sometimes it's easy to go, oh, I don't love this bit about the thing that I'm doing. I don't love this bit about my school subject, or I don't love this about my uni course, or I don't love this about the job, the part-time job that I'm doing or whatever. But actually, there's so many brilliant things that they do love, but we have to constantly be going, okay, let's say out loud. So it's okay not to, like, this isn't about everything has to be upbeat and happy. It's not about that at all. But it is important to go, well, what are those things that you love? And the more aware you are of them, the more you can bring those things into your life, the more you can prioritize those things in a day. And what really struck me from the conversation I had with that wonderful client this morning was she'd lost a wee bit of track of, well, what was the wonderful reason that she'd started her business in the first place? And externally, her success looks incredible. Like, it really is incredible. And obviously, client confidentiality, I'm not going to tell you who it was, but her website is amazing. Her artwork is just like beautiful. Like, so she's incredibly talented. She's so lovely as well. Like, you just want her to be an incredible success. She's just amazing. But she's sort of, it's nearly like the opposite of some of the challenges that at the beginning, she's nearly, side hustle has nearly grown so fast that it brings a whole load of different challenges and things. But today, it was just really useful to kind of bring her back round again and go, but what do you still love about it? And there's still loads of things. And then when you've got that, so I've got to now go away and write a report to help her to kind of sort out like how to go forward and what her vision is, what her strategy is, etc. But when I know what she loves, then I'm going to write the report around that, because that's what you want to build more into. So I know that most people think about their vision right as they start their side hustle, like right at the beginning, and they go, well, this is what I want to do. Anyone that's ever done my 5-day challenge, I call it now a 5-day experience. I call it the Happy Side Hustle Inside You experience. Do you know why? Because like, I still use challenge occasionally because people understand that term. But challenge just sounds quite hard, doesn't it? Like, I want people to just love that week. And I think, like, normally people do, but I think people can be put off by the word challenge. Like, do you want to do a challenge? Not really. Like, do you want to be challenged? Not. Do you want a lovely experience where you can come out with your side hustle at the end of it? That sounds better. Anyway, so it is this, well, I've slightly tweaked it, but it's the same principles for those of you who've been through it before. But yeah, when we do the Happy Side Hustle experience, at the beginning, the first day, we talk about vision, like, what is going to motivate you? Why do you want this? Why do you want this side hustle? What are you going to use the money for? Because unless you've got that clear, on the days that you're just not feeling it, it's incredibly difficult to motivate yourself. But sometimes that vision that you thought of on that Monday of that week, the reason that you wanted to do it, sometimes that evolves, and sometimes it could get bigger or smaller. Sometimes you might go, actually, I only want this to be able to fund X now, so it might be something different. But that has to be the driver for everything. That what you want it for plus your happiness will equal success. And success isn't really that financial thing. Success isn't really kind of looking at someone and going, oh my goodness, she's got a team and she's got premises and she's expanding beyond her wildest dreams. Is that success? And it may be, but is that what you want? So my message to you today is, I want you to revisit. I want you to think about, what does success actually mean to you? What is it that you want to get out of this side hustle? Because when you refocus and you've got that clarity again, you'll find your energy changes, and it just might be different than what you thought it was in the first place. I hope that resonated with some of you. My Happy Side Hustle Inside You experience starts on the 25th of April. So it's about 3 weeks. 3 weeks today. That's it. Just trying to work that out. 3 weeks today. I am going to be doing the usual sort of giveaway thing. Whenever anybody asks to join that, the first question when they come to join the Facebook group is, did anyone recommend this challenge to you? If so, please pop their name in here so we can thank them. What Gillian and I do is we keep a note of anybody that joins the group because they've been recommended by somebody else, and all of those names go into a prize draw. I haven't thought about what the prize is going to be this time, but I'll think of something. I'll think of something good. But if you, so I will be asking you to share it, or yeah, asking you if you would mind sharing it, probably at some point in the next week or so. But if you were up for sharing it now, the link is the one that it always is. So it's hpy.tips, TIPS /hustle, HUSTLE, hpy.tips /hustle. If you've got any like-minded friends that you think might like to find a side hustle, so it's going to be the Find Your Idea Monday to Thursday with getting your idea on the Friday morning, but on the Friday night, I am going to run a masterclass on finding your secret sauce and pricing high. So helping people to work out what are their values, what is it that kind of lights them up, what is it that's really important to them in life, and kind of trying to mesh that together with your side hustle idea to create something that really speaks to your perfect customers. So that's going to be an interactive workshop on the Friday. So even if you know people that already have a side hustle but haven't done I've only run that workshop once, and that was in the last challenge, which was in January. So if you haven't done that, or you know anybody that hasn't done it, and they're looking to, and they would like to kind of revive their side hustle a little bit, hpy.tips /hustle. I'd love to spend the week with you, and anybody who just wants to come back for the crack, please do so. And if anybody was up for sharing it, I would be so super grateful. Thank you so much for coming along to join me tonight. And thank you to anybody watching on replay. If you're watching on replay, please comment with #replay, just so that I know that this video is being shown to people in their Facebook feeds. Have a fabulous, fabulous week, everybody. I am back because my day job isn't so busy anymore. So I should be back on Thursday again, as we'll go back to the normal Mondays and Thursdays Happy Hustle show. So sign up for Telegram if you want to catch me live. If not, you will find me on replay after Thursday evening. Have a fantastic week, everybody. Take care. Bye. Oh, thank you, Hilary. Oh, Hilary, I really appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, lovely to see you, Nikki. Bye.